everybody, what is up? Welcome back. And if you're brand new, hi, welcome. My name is Grubs, and I make Eternal Return content geared towards new players. And today's topic, I feel like is going to be a little controversial. And it is based off the question, when should you start playing ranked? Season 4 is now here, guys, and I know a lot of you new players are really interested in probably hopping into the ranked scene. It's the beginning of the season, fresh start, time for you to grind for the next 2 months. I get it. But we run into the question of just because I could doesn't mean I should. And I have a few points that I would like to make before you hop into ranked. And please remember, this is just my opinion. If you disagree with what I say, absolutely do what you think is right for you. So let's just jump into it. When should you start playing ranked? So level 30 is when you become eligible to play ranked, and I honestly think that that is a little too soon for a lot of players. There are going to be some people that just pick up the game naturally quicker than others. I can't sit here and speak for every case, but I can say for the most part, I think that level 30 is way too quick to be jumping people into ranked. And I'm sure some of you are saying, well, why? If I hit level 30 and I've been playing tons of games, I should be ready to play, right? And in a perfect world, yes. But the problem is that I think there's some intricacies that comes to Eternal Return, especially ranked versus norms, that we should go over real fast so you can understand where I'm coming from. The big one, I mean, quite obviously, is the mentality, right? Like, when you're playing a norm, you don't know if you're going against a 3 stack getting ready for ranked. You don't know if it's somebody that is sticking around with their buddies, if it's brand new people trying to learn new characters. There are so many different things that are happening that are not going to be happening in a ranked game, right? I know that seems really silly for me to go over, but it's the truth. When you go into ranked games, people are going to be way more confident. They're going to be playing their best characters, and they're going to be way more reliable as a teammate, which are all positives and why I choose to play ranked personally over norms for the most part. But the question then becomes, are you as a player going to be able to keep up with those people? If you are somebody that doesn't know really where to go playing the game, probably best to hold off on ranked. Do you know when your character's power spikes are? Do you know where your teammates' power spikes are? Are you an early game team or a late game team? Are you dive? Are you poke? These are all things that you need to consider, as well as team comp. Team comp is really, really important in ranked. It doesn't matter so much in normals. You can make some silly team and usually win. 9 times out of 10 in ranked, you have to have a good team comp in order to be efficient, or you'll just lose. And I think personally, on average, level 50 is right around the ballpark of when most people are ready to actually participate in ranked. I think you need the extra 20 levels to learn the cast, to learn extra characters, learn your routes. I think level 50 is really, truly, honestly, when you should start playing ranked. I think 30 is too soon for most people. And I'm sure some of you are like, but I played ranked in other games. Like, I understand that. This is really stupid. What are you talking about? Well, okay, let's talk about those other games, right? Like, let's just use the, 2 that I can think of right off the bat. Overwatch and League of Legends. Both of them are teams of 5, right? Used to be 6 in Overwatch, RIP 6. But teams of 5, which means that you had more people to fall back on. You could have 2 people that were really strong that could carry the whole team. It's just the way that the games were set up, right? But when you think about Eternal Return, especially in squads, you are 3 people. If you have 2 people that suck on a team of 3, I think you can do the math. It is very difficult to try to solo carry a game in Eternal Return. It is just not going to happen. And because you are such a small team size, I actually think it's very beneficial, and it causes the player base to actually be much better than what you would expect from just a traditional League player or a traditional Overwatch player. When you're considering that the team sizes are different, it means that you have to have a different caliber of play available at your disposal. So that's what I mean when I say maybe waiting a little bit longer, because there's going to be more that's expected of you. On top of it, there is a big cast here, okay? There are a lot of characters in this game. Nimble Neuron has been amazing at coming out with all of these new characters. Some of the skills are vaguely familiar, but most of them feel very authentic to the characters. I've never beaten somebody with a mop before, and I'm glad I have the option to do so. But with a large cast, that is a lot of undertaking of learning skills, eventually learning their cooldowns, learning when it's safe to dive somebody, when it's not. There's just so much to learn. And on top of it, that moves to my next point, you need to also learn multiple characters in multiple roles. I have been seeing a lot of players just hopping into a ranked game and then insta-locking Katya within the first few seconds, and then they don't budge. And if you don't know this, if you press F when you are in the character lobby, you can see what the other teams are. And sometimes I see 3 other Katyas, sometimes I see that they have a lot of dive comps, which Katya does have some mobility, so she can kind of deal with that to a certain extent. And if there's too many people playing the same character, you'll actually get like a red exclamation mark that'll pop up on, I think it's the top right corner of your character portrait in the selection screen. I don't think I have to explain to you that multiple people playing the same character can choke out resources. I also think it's important to realize what role does your character suit. A good example for that, Camilo and Eleven, both are frontliners. Both are completely different, right? One shits out damage, the other one is just a wall. So it's like, what does your team need, right? Try to be flexible, try to learn what you think you can bring to the table. And I wish that I could say, like, just reading the skills would be enough, but usually it's hands-on application that will teach you the fastest, unfortunately. So you're gonna have to play a lot of characters to kind of learn who they are and what they do. And I promise you, the more flexible you can be with your team and the competency that you have across a range of characters will elevate your game for the most part. Obviously, if you are a really new player, I always recommend playing one character and just sticking with it until you understand the mechanics. And if you feel overwhelmed at the thought of learning multiple characters, then maybe you should just stay in norms for a little bit longer until you're ready to branch out. There's definitely some that I think are easier to learn than most. There are a lot of characters in this game that have a lot of stacks, that have a lot of abilities that interact with other abilities or passives that you have to keep track of. If you're a new player, please don't play Adina. Take some time and learn somebody else a little bit easier before you go to that kind of character. I stressed about the early game in the last video I made because with new players, I think that's where it can get really overwhelming. But if you obviously are looking at this video because you want ranked experience, you probably are a little bit further than that, and that's when I would say focus on the mid-game. The mid-game is where you have to understand where your team's strengths are, right? Like, if you have started the game and you've lost out on a few fights right away, you need to go farm. You are done. Stop playing with the other kids in the playground. They're just going to beat you up. You need to go farm. You need to get your weapon mastery up. You need to scout for some boxes. That's why the game has those there for you to try to catch back up. There have been games where we have just lost our ass in the first 3 fights that we've done. And because we were able to be smart and farm up and build up our resources, that we were able to come in second. And more unlikely, we have as a team been able to come back and get first, but sometimes that's not possible, right? Like, the best you can hope for sometimes is second place. And it's not ideal to not fight. In fact, the way that you're going to get the most points is for you to fight people and to get objectives and fight for those objectives. Yes, getting second and first place can help supplement that, but if you want to get the big boy points, you got to put on the big boy pants, and you're going to be duking it out for most of the game. And something to consider, if you are really far ahead in your build and you're noticing your other teammates are not nearly as far as you are, you may consider asking them what they need. And if you have extra money to buy it or to move them towards those objectives, please remember, this is a team game. Taking all the resources for yourself is really selfish and really awful, especially because if you have all the golds and you go down, your team's just going to fall anyways, and that's a horrible mentality to have. It is a team game. You need to be a team player. It's not the me show, you know what I mean? Not every game can you be the carry. Some games you're just not going to be the person that's going to save the team. It's going to be the other people around you. And if you can remember that, and you can help out your teammates and just be overall really friendly, 9 times out of 10, they'll bring their best game. So hopefully that points you in the right direction of when you should actually start playing ranked. Obviously, I'm super excited to see all of you guys come join in ranked. It's tons of fun. It's a different experience from norms because, again, it is a little bit more of a higher caliber of players. I'm really excited for Season 4. I love the new weather system that they're implementing. The flowers I'm a little iffy on, but I'm still excited to see them, and I hope you guys are too. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions for other players, maybe there's something I missed, put it down in the comments below. There were some great things last video where people were nice enough to offer their input, and I think they were important things that, I missed. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Every little bit helps with the algorithm. If you enjoyed the content and you're excited to see more, feel free to hit that subscribe button. I am so happy to have people that are interested in my stuff. I was really scared to make videos for a long time, but the feedback so far has been pretty positive, and I appreciate each and every one of you so far. So thank you guys, and yeah, that's it. Bye.